Welcome to the Biscuit Book Club on Joy 620 WRJZ, featuring Marci and Shelly. Today, conversation will build you up in the faith and encourage you to do what God has called you to do. Brought to you by Simplify Hauling. And now, let's go to the studio with Marci.
Welcome to the Biscuit Book Club, y'all. We're serving up stories with Southern charm. I'm Shelly.
And I'm Marci, and we are so excited to talk about the holidays, talk about baking, talk about fun things that we are dipping our toes into. And I don't know about you, Shelly, but have you been baking anything new or fresh this holiday season?
Yes, I have been in the kitchen. I started watching the Great British Baking Show. It's all new to me.
Oh,
you watched?
Yeah, I've watched it, and I seriously have watched some series, some of them all the way through twice, and I still cry every time they get their glass platter. Like, really? You would do all that for a glass platter? And it's like, yes, I would. Yeah. And I just love it.
And they work hard.
You
can tell. It's in that tent. I feel like that tent is hot. I asked my husband, I was like, do you think they have air conditioner piped into there? And he said they probably have fans.
Well, and I think the stress of having everything be timed and all that stuff, I mean, that adds a lot of stress. But I think that they're so polite and kind with each other. I just love that. But also how smart. And, I mean, they're always like, okay, here's a new recipe. Today we're going to be trying this. And they have their mystery recipe they try. But I have been baking a lot. But I just got a friend of mine just sent me a recipe that I'm going to have to try, and it's called button biscuits. I don't know. You know what? They are that because I'm always kind of checking out biscuits. Anytime John and I go someplace, we have the choice between toast or biscuit. I always get the biscuit just so I can evaluate whether it's a well-made biscuit or not. Sometimes I'll be like, biscuit was a 3. This was a 7. But I am looking forward to trying a biscuit that my friend Linda Kozar sent me the recipe, and I think that might be something I'll do with our grandkids when they come over for the cousin palooza time. So,
have you noticed a difference in biscuits? Like, you're from California, you're living in Knoxville. Is there a difference? Like up here, I love Alaska, but they cannot make gravy.
Oh.
There's definitely a difference in the gravy. Like, we can't hardly eat gravy here.
Huh. I think the biggest thing was I did take the biscuit making class after we moved to Tennessee, and that was a game changer for me. Like, when I learned how to make the best biscuits, but I think that was because of that class. And I think the other thing that people need to realize is you do have different wheats at different places. So that does change a little bit, your biscuit. You gotta kind of get that down. But I think basically having a good recipe is the key. The person we're talking to today is somebody that I just love her Instagram. You talk about having good recipes. Linda has great recipes for food, but she has nailed it on great recipes for content. Because do you follow Linda on Instagram?
Yes, and I love her website. It's so beautiful.
It is, and her Instagram, I am just always like, are you sure we're not sisters from another mother? Because some of the things, I think one of the last things, I was laughing out loud, and John's like, what are you doing? I said, oh my gosh, my friend Linda Kozar just posted, remember does this spark joy? Get rid of it. Pick each item up. If it doesn't spark joy, you got rid of it. She's like,
yes.
And then I realized my scale doesn't spark joy. My diet book doesn't spark joy. And so all the things that she got rid of, I'm like, you know what? That's true. Those things don't always spark joy, but having a well-made biscuit, that's always at the top of my list.
Yes.
And she has a lot of hospitality and Southern flair. So,
Texas girl.
Yes, she is. She lives in Texas, but I think she lives. Is Texas considered the South still? Since I'm from California.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Let's give her a call and just we'll find out. I wonder if she lives in a small town. That was one of my questions.
I don't know. I know her latest book was just great, Sweet Tea and V.
Yes.
But I've loved some of her other ones. Give Me Some Sugar.
Yeah, she's prolific. I didn't know how much she'd written so many books.
Oh, hey, Linda.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
This is Shelly and Marci, and
Marci and Shelly.
We're calling you from the Biscuit Book Club because we were talking about, well, first of all, we want to try your biscuit recipe that you have on your site and that you sent to me to try, and then also about your latest devotional, but we didn't realize how prolific. You have a lot of books. How many books do you have out?
Oh, gosh. I think I have probably 15 or 16, but then I have short stories as well, you know. So, yeah, it adds up.
Yeah. And I loved the Sweet Tea and there are 90 different devotions to help perk up your day. They are short and sweet, but sometimes you don't need something really heavy or really lengthy. So I just love the fact that people can just have a quick little, just a quick pick me up. So.
And where are you from, Linda?
We're a
what
society.
part of Texas?
Oh, well, I was born in New Orleans, and I lived there, when I was young, and I got married, and my husband and he's originally from Ohio. And then we moved to Texas, and I think we're honorary Texans now because we've been here for a long time.
Okay.
And we love it.
Is it a small town?
Well, it's the Woodlands, Texas. It's north of Houston, but it's one of those planned communities. We have big golf tournaments and stuff like that. So it's rated as the #1 place to retire in the U.S.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but we moved here a long time ago, so we just happened to retire here.
Yeah, planning ahead. That's great.
Yeah, but you're not retired. You're busy writing, and you have a podcast too, right?
Well, I do, but also I am going to be doing a podcast for the American Christian Fiction Writers, interviewing authors in that organization. So that's going to launch in January.
Ooh. Oh, what's the name of that one?
Well, we haven't settled on that yet, but it's, I'll let you know.
Okay. Well,
we haven't settled on what we're going to call it. Yes.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, I listened to some of your podcasts, and I loved the whole a writer. The writer sat down.
Along Came a Writer.
Yeah, Along Came a Writer. Sorry.
I love that.
So will it be similar to that then?
Yeah, it'll be very conversational, and since the host, you know how it is. If the host is an author, you know exactly what's going on in the mind of another author, and you're always interested about how they got started, and what's their next thing, what would challenge them to write. Like, would you ever write in another genre? Stuff like that. It's always fun. Well,
that sounds like a great question for us to ask you. How did you get started writing?
Well, I think as a child, I read everything in our home library, and everything my mom would let me read, and I didn't like the endings of some of the books, and so I started writing my own endings, and I always wanted to be a writer when I grew up, but I started off writing for newspapers, just small little articles for newspapers on human interest kind of stuff. And I think back in 2005, I started connecting with other people who wanted to write. We had a little writers group at the time, and I realized, hey, I can do this. I can write a whole book, because most people don't know what it takes to write a whole book, how many words you need, how many chapters you need, and you start learning. And that's how it happened. In 2007, I got the call from Barber Books. It was Heart Song Presents. It was a new mystery line, Spyglass. And I was suddenly an author. It was amazing. It was an answer. It was an answer from God, because I'd gotten to the point where I was getting a lot of rejections, and I said, Lord, either take this from me, or please let me be published. And actually, the very next day is when I got the call.
Wow.
Because I was ready to lay it down. You know how unhappy you can be when you're really trying and you're giving it your all and you're not getting anything. And I just came to that point where I was ready to give it up.
Wow. What had you? So at that point, you'd been writing for newspapers and smaller stuff. What was that first book that you wrote?
Misfortune Cookies.
Okay, I cannot believe that was your first book, because I was reading it last night, and I was laughing so hard. I was reading it in bed, and my husband was kind of starting to be like, what is going on? Like, he thought maybe I was watching blooper reels or something, and I could not stop laughing. I told him, I said, this is kind of like a cross between the Golden Girls and the Gilmore Girls. Like, it is so funny, her characters. And he's like, could you just read it out loud then, so that I can be in on all of this jovial jiggling that's going on? And so I started reading about when she had to have the Heimlich, because she swallowed the ice. But I loved it. So when you wrote that first one, did you know it was going to be such a long series? Because isn't there 6 in that series?
Yeah, but, I didn't even know when I was writing it that I was writing a mystery. I guess I just had 3 chapters, and I switched my chapters around before I submitted it, just on a whim to Heart Song Presents. And they liked it, but then I had an author friend helped me, Janice Thompson. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's written tons of books. And she said, "What is this chapter doing here? Switch your chapters around. Sometimes you overthink things." And then I got a contract on it, and I finished the book. I learned how to write a mystery, and that was that.
Wow, I loved it. But now you've written quite a few devotionals. So how was that to have to change lanes?
Well, I like to say that I'm ambibooksterous. Or maybe like Frosted Mini Wheats. I've got the frosted side, which is fiction, and you've got the that rough shredded wheat side, the nonfiction, and I can do it because I've taught a Bible study for women for about 32 years now, and a lot of those devotions come from lessons I've taught over the years. Yeah, so I distill it down.
Yeah, I love your titles. Biscuits, Butter, and Blessings. And the title alone makes every Southern woman's heart flutter. What inspired that book?
That's one title I didn't think of. Dayspring had the title. They thought of the title already, and it was a work-for-hire situation for the 3 books I did for them. And I wish they weren't, because those books sold collectively close to 1 million.
Wow.
But I didn't, I wrote 3 books for them, Sweet Tea for the Soul, Biscuits, Butter, and Blessings, and Sunshine for the Soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your latest?
They've all done. My latest is Sweet Tea and Me, and before that is Give Me Some Sugar, and those were with Broad Street Publishing.
Okay. Yeah. I just love the titles. I love the covers. Now, are you a sweet tea drinker, Linda?
Oh, yes, but I don't drink it all the time anymore. I used to. I used to drink it every day, but I kind of limit myself. I don't want to drink tea that isn't sweet. It's not even worth it to me. So I'll say maybe once a week I'll have sweet tea. Because, you put on the pounds when you start drinking it. I'm not like in my 20s anymore when I can drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, we just moved from California to Tennessee a couple years ago, and I don't know that I'll ever. The sweet tea, it's too sweet. Like for me, I would rather have unsweetened tea because it's.
Oh, you have to order
like
half
tea.
and half.
I guess we could.
You got to have half and half. Yeah, I tell them put half non-sweet and half sweet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That works perfectly.
Otherwise, I just feel like I should order pancakes or something to go with it.
And
most people, they put too much in there.
And they're drinking it by breakfast. That's the other thing I noticed. It's like, I know it's like your state beverage, but really at breakfast, I mean, give it a break. I'm amazed that people just love their sweet tea here. So.
And to those
like what they say, the house wine of the South.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
If you just tuned in, we've been talking to author Linda Kozar. And Linda, where can our listeners connect with you online?
Well, they can go to my website, which is lindakozar.com. They can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Pinterest and also TikTok.
Okay, and I love your website. Just gorgeous.
Thank you. I did it myself.
Wow. It's very bright. People need to go to it so they can download some of these recipes, download some of the information, and I'm sure you'll have the podcast information up there. One of the things I love, Linda, is the fact that you do. I think that the world is so. It can be so tumultuous right now and just so discouraging and disheartening. And I do love the fact that you are so consistent in showing up and being a lighthearted, positive voice, which I feel like is sometimes lacking. And one of the things that I just pulled up was most of us can read the writing on the wall. We just assume it's addressed to someone else. So I love it when you post all those fun things because it does give us a reason to just kind of breathe and relax a little bit. So, have you heard people respond the same way?
Oh, yes. Yeah, they have. And, that's my goal. I started really doing that during the pandemic. And because I realized people need to lighten up and they need to laugh and they still need to laugh. And I've got a wide assortment of people who follow and look for that little bit of joy every day. And I love that. I just love to be a joy bringer to people who get down. I mean, people get down for a lot of reasons. But I think joy just lightens your day, it lightens your heart, and just it changes the atmosphere.
It does. It kind of sets you on a great path for the rest of your day. Do you happen to have any other series similar to the Fat Ladies Sing Mysteries?
No, but I am working on something. Huh. I'm working on kind of I'm actually writing romance.
Oh wow.
But it'll still be quirky. It'll be huh?
I said that's a pivot from mystery.
Well, it is, but there's a mystery. My take is that there's a mystery in every book. In every book you write, there's going to be some sort of mystery in it. So there will be mystery, in this romance. I've only written about 10 chapters. So.
Ooh.
Oh, fun! And it's quirky, did you say?
Oh yes. I just can't write things that aren't a little bit quirky. Because, I write the kind of books I would be interested in reading. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to be true to who you are, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and one of the things that also I really appreciate about you, you did mention about your mom and about taking her for walks and how she finds little things. And you keep them in a jar. Can you address that a little bit? Because I think sometimes we are in so much of a hurry, whether you're a busy mom with toddlers, just trying to get from point A to point B, or whether you are helping an older parent maybe at doctor's appointments. It's so easy to be frantic and just think of the time constraints that we have in our everyday. But I loved what you wrote about your mom, if you could share that.
Well, when she's 93 now, so she's not as spry, so we don't go out for walks anymore. But when we went out for walks, which she loved, or even if we were in a store, she would find little things on the floor or in the street. And sometimes I would have to really watch her because she would go out in the middle of the street to get things. But she found all sorts of things, jewelry and, just all sorts of things people drop. And I have glass jars with those little treasures in them, little pieces of toys or money. Sometimes she would find money, and there were stones. And I tested them to make sure. I thought maybe these are diamonds. Oh my gosh, because she would see something sparkly, 6 feet away in the grass. After I had her cataracts fixed, and I was amazed by it. None of them were diamonds, though, but they were sparkly, and they're all in the jar. It's it's a keepsake jar now, and it's just a sweet reminder of to keep your eye out for things and to not miss what's around you.
Have you used that in any of your books?
Not yet. But that's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and Shelly and I were talking earlier about the holiday season and how easy it is to miss what is the most important, keeping the most important thing, the most important thing. And so really just the act of observance and just focusing on the simple things and not being so caught up in the hurried rush that you forget about those timely little moments that might really have an impact later on.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. And to just enjoy the season instead of being so frenzied and rushed and stressed. Yeah, it's really not about that.
Yeah.
What are the holidays like for you all, Linda? Do you have family down to visit, or do you travel?
Well, it depends. My oldest daughter, her husband is a pastor in Madison, Alabama, and so when he's associate pastor, so when he has to preach or he has, he always has something to do around the holidays. That's big. So this year we're all going up there to have Christmas, and you have to share with the other families. Like for Thanksgiving, both our daughters are going to have Thanksgiving with their in-laws, and I don't mind that because it's you have to share, and you have to be fair about it. So, but I'm looking forward to getting together for Christmas. So that'll be awesome.
Yeah. And then also, are your grands going to be there as well?
Oh yes, and I'm looking forward to the Christmas pageant at the church. My favorite costume, and I'm not sure she's old enough to wear this one yet, is the camel. Oh. It's the wonkiest looking camel I've ever seen. Someone's the head and someone is the tail.
Oh my
gosh! And it just cracks me up. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the Christmas pageant. She was the angel, a couple of years ago, and I think they might both be in it this year. So.
Okay, well, maybe they'll both be part of the camel. So, I mean, wouldn't that be that would be kind of funny, sibling spat inside with one
the ultimate.
Yes. So I know sometimes the Christmas pageants have not always gone well with at the Scyther household. So it's usually involved one of our children. When those moments when everyone snickers and points at the child, and then they look back and find the parents, and that would be us, on 2 different occasions. So yeah.
Well, that makes them fun, though.
So, but that's okay. That it is. Those are the memories that you remember. You don't remember when everything goes great. So, but I love that.
Oh, for sure.
Well, Linda, we love your books. We love the recipes. We love everything. And we really do appreciate, like I said, I always look forward to seeing your posts I mean, sometimes I'm just scanning through really quick, but I do really enjoy that little break. And I think that does carry through, just taking a moment to just focus on something that's more lighthearted. So for those listening to us, we're talking to Linda Kozar and her latest book that just came out, Sweet Tea and Thee, and you can purchase that on Amazon or any great bookstore around you, or go into your local library and ask if they would order it for you so that you can check it out. That's always a good option. So thank you, Linda, for joining us. Any parting words of wisdom as we head into the new year?
I would say, trust in the Lord more. A lot of people just seem to give in to doubt. And I think, trusting in God is one of the most important things you can do as a believer. And, to just know that he's looking out for you and to put your faith in him. Not just giving him your heart, but every day trusting him and having faith, that he loves you. And he loves you more than you know. And also, I would say try my biscuits. Try my button biscuits. Because they're really good, and and I serve them to my ladies' Bible study a lot, and they love them because, women like to fool themselves into eating, you think, oh, this little biscuit, there's not many calories, but, you might eat 10 of them.
Yeah, sometimes the biscuit is just the carrier for honey butter and jam. So, you know what?
Well, it always is.
Yeah, we should make a sweet tea jam. That would be kind of an interesting take. Sweet tea jam.
Ooh.
I think I'll do that. I'll
That
try it.
sounds good.
Linda, I'll make some and send it to you. How does that sound?
All right. That sounds awesome.
Well, we are so excited, Linda Kozar, for you joining us today on the Great Biscuit Baking Show. Shelly was talking about the Great British Baking Show. This is the Great Biscuit Baking Show, and we're thankful that you joined us. Join us every week as we talk with authors, books, biscuits, and everything in between.
Yes, until next week, keep reading and keep it cozy, y'all. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to today's Biscuit Book Club with Marci and Shelly. Be listening next week at the same time for great encouragement and a challenge for what God has for your life on the Biscuit Book Club on Joy 620 WRJZ.